without really going into too much detail, sometimes you have to step back to move forward. I think all of us know that. And for me, it was about being more authentic, my number one thing. And for a while, I wasn't being authentic with myself. So I needed to reassess that because I want to be in service of you. I want to be, there's no point doing something like this if you're just doing something like this. There has to be a absolute reason. And I always reflect back to I'm a yogi. I practice as a yogi every day. I practice a life skill as a yogi every day. And there's no way I can get through a day without practicing the life principles that I have. So we all know yoga is, and the conversations I have every day with everybody about yoga is that it is essentially a physical practice. But if you go back and speak to any ancient sage or anyone who is of yoga in nature, they will say that that's only a very, very fine percent, finest minimal percent of what a yoga practice is all about. And I believe that when I first entered into the world of a yoga practice, that's essentially what really changed my world. And I believe truly to my core that the only way that we as a as one, because we all live on the same rock, we as one will only move forward if we are conscious of all of those things that, well, I'm not going to talk about all of them because my goodness, there's like quite a few. And it's taking one thing at a time. Like in a physical yoga practice, you don't go in and do all of the things straight away, you know? And so I was just going to take the time to introduce it slowly and pace through it and just work with what we've got. So some of you might be aware of my journal, which now really just looks like a notebook. When I first made it, I was like, this is my journal. This is like, it's a notebook. And so we are now working on a much thicker, much more substantial kind of like tabletop copy, which for any self-development enthusiast is gonna embrace and absolutely love. I'm just like, so excited about it. And the reason I started this in the first place was because um, I've experienced discomfort, same as everybody. I found myself quite sort of open to discomfort as growth and believe that is the case. There is a lesson. And so it brought me to the fulfillment journal. It took me to yoga. It took me to my cards. Just got these from Glastonbury actually. They're called Lois-Faye. How cute. And these are one, it says Faye, which is my surname. It means fairy as well, but they are so yummy, and green's one of my favorite colors right now. So I'll pick one of those in a moment. But I wanted to firstly, so the yamas and the niyamas are a system of principles, observations, call to action, whatever, however you want to call it, of what's in the background of of essentially of a yoga practice. And you can apply them to your practice on the mat. You can also apply them to your everyday life. So I start using them as soon as I wake up in the morning. And one of the first things, so there's a lot of talk about Let's just take a check on our current situation. There's a lot of talk about uh, manifestation, meditation, conscious living, uh, nutrition, and then the good stuff of that and the bad stuff of that. Which so we've all got a choice of what we take on board. But I think the most primal and the most essential version of ourselves is our self observation, our relationship with self. So maybe if there's anything that you get out of this, just this kind of micro chat, is to think about what you think about as soon as you wake up in the morning, and what is that actual thing. For such a long time, I used to wake up dreading just this kind of like something that had been stored in my body somewhere that came to the surface every time I woke up, physically shaking. That's why I started using frequency, but at the same time, using my thought processes. I had to use them. I had to use them. So I was obviously not stable in my grounding. I was obviously a little bit like shaky, and there were quite a few things that happened over a short amount of time that maybe were part of why I was feeling that way. And so I went deeper into the practice of the yamas and the niyamas. So this is probably where you switch off and go, "What the freak is she talking about?" And I can completely understand why you would do that, because we haven't really brought that philosophy forward into a language for us all to understand. So that's what the fulfillment journal, or the notebook that I made, was all about. Living well, and being a manager of living well. I think is going to take us all to a place we've never seen before, because we're all so much more consciously aware of ourselves. So, to get into this, I'm just going to take a few seconds for us to connect with some breath. Nothing crazy, just a moment which brings us together in some kind of like vibrational accordance. Then I'm going to talk about part of the practice, and I'm going to pull a card which is like, love it, love it. Someone said I should make this ASMR, so I think I'll have to do that as well. I'll just have so much fun with that. So watch out. So take a moment wherever you are. Make sure you are safe. Please don't close your eyes if you can't, if that's going to cause a problem. But just take a moment to connect with your breathing. Be aware of how your breath is moving into your body. Okay, so we're just going to breathe on the right and on the left. We're just going to take the right thumb, place over the right nostril, breathe through the left for a moment. Take your time, breathing, smiling, breathing, smiling. Two more breaths. One more breath. Beautiful. I can feel it already. Taking your left thumb over your left nostril, breathing through the right side only, 3 breaths. I'm going to leave you alone with this one. Make sure you're smiling. Oh my goodness, the power of just that and curling the inside of your mouth. Like I'm practicing smiling at the moment because my resting face is not fun. um, just take another deep breath in before we begin. Both nostrils. Oh, let your shoulders relax. Sit back. Beautiful. Okay. So the fulfillment journal. So first of all, non-harming. Non-harming is so many things. So many things. So let me read to you what my introduction is. My thoughts are non-harming for myself, others, and the environment. My attitude and tone are light frequency and high vibration. I respond positively and compassionately. Everything that I consume is of service to my health, wealth, and the well-being of others. I sense overwhelm and calm. I sense overwhelm and calm, and any anxiety I have, I rest into and dissolve. As always, I just take note and never negatively judge myself or others. So this really is like the essence. I've got chills just thinking about this. You can see like just tons of notes, tons of notes. If you get the notebook, like it's a really good introduction to what or how the larger journal is going to come about. But you can practice this all day, every day. So like that instance when I got up in the morning and I was feeling anxious and dreaded, had that sense of dread, and I was shaking. That was harmful to me. It came from somewhere that I wasn't in control of. It just appeared, it just rose. It had to get out. It had to get out into the surface. So thoughts, feelings, everything. And I had no choice but to create good thoughts, good feeling thoughts, allow myself to rest, allow my surface tension to relax. But all of those things were non harming practices. Instead of getting up in a complete whirlwind and taking it into my day. Not easy, simple, and effective. Therefore, I was so ready for my day. So ready for my day, just in that one expression of self, just by practicing non-harming. It then gets a lot deeper. It then goes a lot deeper into other things. So I like this to be really practical. I like to go into the emotional and I like the sensitive, but let's make it really practical. The next time you feel something like that occurring within yourself, practice non-harming. Take an observation of what is happening, and then think about what you can do, what you can be, and what you could have. So, I mean, if you're just about to consume something that's really harmful to yourself, this is a great practice. Um, and again, using it every day to see how I'm impacting myself, my surroundings, other people. This is the beauty of it. So, just a small practice like that, so much benefits from your practice. So much. Not always easy, simple, can be fun as well at times, especially when there's a lot of like crazy going on around you. It can be quite interesting. And the response that you get from your external world is quite can be quite interesting. So yeah, it's playful, it's fun, and it can be what we need right now. There's so much like tension and non-acceptance. It's like we've gone back 100 years or something. It's crazy. But bit. Let me just. Oh, one's flying out with each. How many should I do? Three. I'll do three. The witch hare. Cross the threshold, leap the bridge, go over the wall. Oh, that's so cute. A bit like what I spoke about, really. There is a gap between being like really conscious of what you're thinking and feeling and doing, and then there's a big void between that and being completely unconscious of what you're feeling and doing. So you can be um, just bumbling along, not taking check on yourself, and then all of a sudden you just hit a brick wall and realize that you maybe haven't been taking as much awareness as you need to of a situation, a thing, anything. It can be anything. Usually smacks us in the face. So there is a void between the being aware and non-aware, and that's a lot of what this is about. And you can take it back to the physical. When you go and do something, whether it be a yoga practice or anything physical, endurance, if you push yourself too much without being aware of yourself, you get hurt. Simple. Just human beings, we just keep bumping into things, don't we? And what I used to love when I used to practice, my yoga teacher, who saved my life pretty much, said to me, he used to say to me, like, when you meet your resistance, it's like the hinge on a door. When you pull away from it, it closes a little bit, but you can still open it. You can still go back. How cool is that? Don't have to slam it shut or force ourselves through it. Like, we can just be in it for a bit, just be in the hinge. Yeah. Or maybe it's just the one card then. Such a pretty card. So I got these from Glastonbury. Is anyone going to? I am literally 20 minutes from there now. Oh, there's. Oh, there we go. The Sentinel. New opportunities shall manifest in unexpected ways. This is that. So yeah, being aware of yourself, expectations, and so opportunities will present themselves in your new condition. So changing your life, you don't have to take a year course to change your life. You can do it in a second, every second of every day, by just observing yourself. And these techniques, we all have them, but we just haven't been trained to use them. So, there's my third card. They're flying. The Green Witch, which is really cute. But the writing's on purple paper. Purple. The design. Oh gosh. At the bottom it says seek enchantment. I think that's a pretty nice way to kind of sum things up. Look at these colours as well. Green is the heart. Blue is at the top of the crown. It's almost like just a beautiful. So seeking, enchanting yourself through really gorgeous love affair with self. And the thing from that what happens from that is it just starts to come about in our everyday, without force, without forcing it to happen. So my beautiful people, if you've taken anything from this, please let me know. We will go bit by bit through stages, and I will hopefully develop as someone who communicates again, because it's been a while, but I have absolute certainty that we can move forward with this. I have some guests, learn how to live, and breathe and be at peace together. With resistance, obviously. So namaste, everyone. Blessings, and see you soon.